understand that there's already an easier and better way of creating a reality. So you're not here for another manifestation course. You're here to actually apply the process that you already know. You already know that if you just finish the goal in your mind, you feel it in your emotions, and then you take aligned actions, you know that the only thing in between you and that goal, while you're still taking aligned actions, you're holding the belief, you know that the only thing in between you and any big goal is time. All right. I really like this definition of manifestation. When something that was once part of the imagination becomes actualized into physical reality. And that's what we do when we manifest things. We put things from our mind into the reality. Like Bob Proctor said, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So you already probably manifested $1,000, $5,000, a new job, or maybe even a business idea. But why is it that when we try to do the bigger goals, a life partner, $1 million, a thriving business, or just a perfect life that you love, why is that so hard to create? Well, the thing with $1,000 is that a lot of people, they can see it and believe it, that $1,000 can come in from any way. If I just being open to it, I believe it, I feel it, and I take aligned actions towards it. You believe that you can get that. But as soon as we have something bigger, this is a beautiful painting, something bigger like $1 million or a life partner that you never experienced before, you don't even understand the reality. We put that often on a pedestal and we look at it, and then after some time we try to manifest, think, take some aligned actions, and then we stop. We're not able to hold the belief anymore, and then we stop and we feel maybe even further away than we were at the beginning. But you already know it works on this level, so why wouldn't it work on this level? What's the difference? Well, it's actually just your belief, and also your belief in yourself, and your belief in your ability to create. So just imagine that you would do it like this instead. You would go 1,000, 1,500, 2,500. You continue. Your belief in manifestation is increasing at the same time. And remember, your manifestation is your ability to take it from the mind into the physical reality. So the closer you get or the bigger you get, the better your belief becomes. So when you manifest the $10,000, but you could really just do $1,000 before, now you can probably take some bigger jumps. And this is the way of having goals that you can believe in. It's the same thing with manifestation. It's not some woo woo shit that everyone tries to make it be. That one day it's just gonna show up. It's just gonna be there in front of your door. No, you gotta have the belief that it is coming, even if you don't know how. And that is how we build the belief during with smaller and more easy manifestations. You can do it like this. If you watch the interview with Pia, she went from this, but she already manifested $10,000 or something smaller, but she already had the belief in the manifestation because she was creating her life in all different ways. But the problem here is, can you hold a vision? If you want to go from $1,000 and then you say, no, now I want to create $1 million. I want $1 million in. Yes, if your belief can hold that, if you don't feel any resistance about receiving $1 million, if you don't receive any resistance of creating a business that gives you $1 million or anything else, then there's no problem. If you can hold the vision until it's there, and this period here is the lag period, and you don't know how long this period is going to be before it lands on your doorstep. So that's why I like to do it in a more structured, in a more practical way. So also remember, you're not delusional because you already experience this magic. You already understand that manifestation does work. You understand that it's not some crazy woo woo shit. Well, I guess a part of it is because the how, you don't really know how the how comes to be. You don't really know what video is going to get you what kind of person who talked to that thing, and then you get this idea. You don't know how the things are going to align. But you're not delusional because it's working on the small things. You manifested $1,000, $5,000, a new job, a new business idea. You maybe manifested everything that you have in your life now, but now this big jump feels really big. So just remember that you're not delusional. You just need bigger belief. You need more aligned actions, and that's what we're gonna do. So, what does these tools have in common. In reality, what they are trying to do is create an emotion. They create you a feeling. The hypnosis is going to get you feeling of confidence. Affirmation is going to make you confident. Meditation, maybe stillness or calm in the process. Vision boards to get you excited, get you confident. Visualization, confident, excited. You know, coaches. What do coaches sell? They sell you the belief. So all we're trying to do is just hold the belief. And when it feels like your manifestation is working and that it's on the way into your reality, it means it's already done on both a mental plane and an emotional plane. So the only thing that remains then is aligned actions. And some people, if you have a strong enough belief that you don't even have to take any action, you can do that. But here's where a lot of people, they don't believe that they can create a business without taking actions. So they're just wishing and thinking and feeling and wishing and thinking and feeling, and nothing happens because they do not believe they can do it without physical work. And this is where we don't want to be going into the hustle culture where we just push and push and push and grind and grind. We want to take actual aligned action. So this is where the consistency is needed to stay in the feeling, to have aligned actions. So this is where More to Life creators actually come in to help you stay in the feeling of your manifestations. We will help you on the emotional plane, on the intellectual plane, obviously on the spiritual plane too, but also to create a space where you can take aligned actions and not fall back into the hustle and force. A lot of times, actually, when you've succeeded with your manifestation, it's very easy to fall back into these old patterns of just trying to make things happen because now, again, you're still on unknown ground and it's easier to just fall back into the old route. So that's why you want to have people like this around you. You want to have our sessions that we're going to do. And even if you failed so far with your big goals, you already know the process works. An example of the mental, emotional, and physical and how it works is you see yourself working with a client and having the money on your bank account. Okay, let's say $1,000 manifestation. And then after that, you feel the feelings of happiness, of excitement, of getting paid $1,000. You feel the emotions of spending them on what you want it for. You don't just want money, obviously. You want it to use it for something. Maybe that's just for comfort. Maybe that is for investments, investing in yourself, whatever it is. And you feel the emotions. Now, the emotion and the mental is already done. It's instant because you're experiencing it directly. The only thing that you're not experiencing it directly is in the physical. But then what you do is to start taking aligned actions. And by aligned actions are the ones that doesn't just make sense in your mind, but they feel right. And you know when you got those, you're in the shower and you feel like, oh shit, that's a good idea. Those are the aligned actions that we want to take. And those we only get when we go from our mind into our hearts. And we go down out of the hustle, out of these high brainwave states, and down into a more calm state. So you open up your business, market it on your story. You take aligned action, least amount of resistance, and that's when you had your $1,000 manifestations. Many times it will look like this, and then you will just arrive to it, or someone will give it to you, or whatever it will happen. This is the magical thing about actual creation. You never know. You never ever know the way the certain goal, the certain thing is going to play out. It's time to scale your confidence in the process and in your ability to create. So this group is for awakened entrepreneurs, I call it. We use manifestations and the laws as practical tools for creation. We don't just give you the laws of the universe. You already know this. You already know how be, do, have is all that you need to create any goals. If you have any resistance in your emotions, we remove the mental blocks. But most groups, they just give you so much content so they can have a high price. I just give you the tools to keep your emotions high, to keep your frequency, to keep your feelings high so you can get the job done. You can have the aligned actions and stay just living in your life. You don't have to study more. You just need this container so we can hold you at the frequency, hold the vision and just stay on the vibe. So this is what you get. Active creation, so you can feel the emotions of the wish fulfilled and not act from lack. That's a big problem when we start. We don't feel like we can't see it happening, we don't see it in our reality, and now we start acting from like we don't have it. But the more you feel the emotions, the more you practice that, the more you can put yourself in a coherent state, the more you can live in this feeling. Passive creation, receive your aligned actions by downloads rather than thinking your way to it logically. We basically facilitate this shower session, you know, when you're in the shower, but we put you in a very relaxed state, and then you can access these so-called downloads or ideas instead of thinking your way to it. And this is where it gets a little bit more spiritual. Practical manifestation sessions apply the process from a coherent state with others, guided hypnosis to increase your confidence, the belief in the process, and your speed to manifestation. That is what we really are doing, are building the belief so you can manifest really, really fast. The principle of reality creation, the basic of reality creation without any extra fancy pansy. I don't like woo woo stuff. I am very spiritual, but I don't like the woo woo stuff. I like it when it's clear, when it's easy. Yeah, just a group of really cool people to be held through challenges, celebration, self hypnosis, visualization, guided hypnosis, mental blocks removal, and more. And a lot of times, if you haven't met your goals, if you haven't actually reached your goals, you have usually some mental blocks stopping you from getting there. And we can explore that too in the group. So, this is what you don't get. This is not a support group for people addicted to the problems. If you want to talk about why life is hard, just stay on Facebook. We don't want basic surface level people. We want open people who understands that belief creates reality and you choose the beliefs. So you basically choose the play the playground for your life. You decide whatever rules you want to play by. There's no right or wrong. Okay? This is not a guru teaching you the law of attraction without giving you any secrets. I'm not a guru. I'm not going to teach you anything. I'm just going to give you the principles so you can apply them just like you already know them. You're going to read them and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. I've seen that. I understand it. I use it myself. It's not woo woo wrapped in fancy wording. And it's not a group for you if you think you can manifest a business without ever making a move, then you're in the wrong group. I want it to go as fast as possible. I don't want to make it as hard as possible. It's like, yeah, I can manifest. I could probably manifest something like that. I could probably just sit, think, feel the emotions, and then it would come one day. But the aligned actions supports the belief, and then it makes it easier. But the more you believe, the faster it's going to go. Without belief, you cannot have anything. Investment is $33 per month. And if you apply everything, come to the calls, and still don't feel like your manifestation feels better, you'll get your money back. I'm not going to gatekeep anything. I'm here because I created this group because I want a group like this. Whenever my friends are telling me about their manifestations, when they're seeing the synchronicities, the magic in their life, I just feel so inspired, so motivated, and then things start happening in my life too. So, welcome to More to Life Creator.